Hello. Time to talk about hot dogs and sandwiches, and if one is the other. First of all, let's establish what exactly a hot dog is. A hot dog, by my definition, and I think by the majority of people's definitions, would be a bun, which would be classified under a piece of bread that has a connection between 2 points, with at least just an actual hot dog on it. It can contain condiments and other greens. A bunch of people put on it chili related to things like that. Very understood concept. Now, what is a sandwich? This is where we get into a little bit of harder definitions. I'm going to say sandwich is two pieces of bread with something in the middle. Really, it just is something. I'm going to say specifically two separated pieces of bread for a mainline sandwich. And this is why I say mainline. I think that a hoagie does count as a sandwich. You might be thinking, that's insane. No, it doesn't. But I think it is a subsection. I think in a traditional sense, it is not a sandwich. But I think for, like, if you really think of it, okay, this can be somewhat classified as a sandwich. You can say that a sandwich is a sandwich, but not a hoagie. But you could say a hoagie is a hoagie and a sandwich, if you get what I'm saying. Subsection. Now, I think hot dog is the same in this category. I think, based off what I'm looking at, a hot dog is the same type of subsection. The argument for why it's a sandwich, regardless of logic, is because it has other things on it, like the meat, like the relish, like the condiments you're putting on it. And I think that argument makes sense. I think you're purposely not putting into account in the bread, which is the main argument of the other side, though, if you do take that stance on it. And for the bread, it's the hinge makes it different. And I think the hinge does play a role in why it's not directly a sandwich, but I think it can be considered a subsection because of the condiments and other related things it has on it, and its relation to a hoagie, which I just believe would be considered a sandwich under more traditional terms. Like a Philly cheesesteak, I think that's also technically a sandwich, just under yet again a different subsection. That's a little bit more out there, and I understand how some of you think that this wouldn't be considered a subsection for other reasons. But I think it still works because it isn't directly a sandwich, but it has the same concepts behind a sandwich. Like if I took two pieces of bread, put everything in a hoagie cheesesteak in there, and then put it on top, no one would argue that that's a sandwich, I don't think, or most people wouldn't. There's probably one person out there that's like, no. But anyways, I think that would be considered a sandwich, and I think just adding the hinge puts it not in the direct sandwich category, classifies it as something else that is under the concept of a sandwich, so it is a sandwich but also something else, and not the other way around. And I think that's typically how it would work out. I think a hot dog is a sandwich under a subsection rule, not directly a sandwich. And yeah, that's pretty much how my opinion on it goes. Now, for the actual facts, what we're looking for, it is a sandwich. It's classified as a sandwich based off of this specifically in the U.S. Based off what the U.S. classifies it as a sandwich. I believe specifically the U.S. I don't think if anyone's watching this anywhere else, it would be classified as there anywhere else. Probably different codes, but before I see FDA-related things say it's technically under a sandwich, for the same logic that people say, oh, the meat, oh, the cheese, sandwich-related things, discounting the bread, which I don't think is a good stance. I think if you're purposely building your entire argument just to subvert the one valid point someone has around you, then you're doing something wrong. If you're building an argument, you should bring in why you think it doesn't matter or it shouldn't be counted. And that just kind of that argument doesn't do it. But yeah, I think it's a sandwich, kind of, not really, but also kind of. That's pretty much it. Love to hear your thoughts on it. And as always, this has been non-biased. I am the least amount of biased I can be. I hope you guys have a good day. Been fun. Oh, subscribe. That would be pretty awesome too. Pretty awesome if you did that. Yeah, thanks. Bye.